Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today we're at Acura here in Shreveport, Louisiana. We're going to try to answer the question, is the 2023 Acura TLX base the best bang for the buck? While this is the base and it doesn't have all of the features that are available on the TLX, it most certainly still comes with quite a few features for the money. In fact, that's one of the definite pros of the TLX, is you do get a lot for the price. And a roomy interior, it's comfortable, and if you want to step up in a few different ways, well, there are a lot of options to do so. I do want to take a minute to say hi to Tim Marini. Thanks for watching, Tim. I appreciate that. Let's dive in to this TLX base and see exactly what it is, and we're going to talk about what it doesn't have as far as features and functionality go. Taking a look from the front end, definitely a sharp looking vehicle with a multi-jewel LED headlights that definitely set it off, giving it a luxurious look. You'll also have the LED daytime running lights, and that flickering effect that you see right there, no, you can't make your TLX do that unless you're looking through the lens of a GoPro, as we are right now. Now, one thing you'll notice that is missing here is you don't have the parking sensors. Not necessarily a big deal. Keep in mind price point. You can step up in trim level and obviously fix that. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with these Acura TLX models, and you're looking up here with this logo and saying to yourself, what is that plate for? Is it decorative? Well, no, not really. What it actually does is it amplifies the signal coming in for all of the different safety features that this vehicle has, because, well, they're not real close. They're further into the vehicle, and that is what this is all about. And let's take a look at our tire and wheel setup here. We're going to have 235 on the width, so quite a bit of meat, tread on the ground, a 50 series sidewall, and wrapped around 18-inch wheels. And then we'll take a quick look here at our remote. Now keep in mind, this is the base, so there'll be some things you don't necessarily see here, but still a nice remote, going to get the job done. Lock, unlock, you can open the trunk, and there's your panic button if somebody's getting too close to your TLX. And we do have the body color on the lower portion right here with the side view mirrors. Turn signal indicators are built in, and you have the gloss black mirror caps. They're manually folding, but power adjustable and heated. And if you're wondering about the window tint, I believe that was added by Acura, so a little bit more window tint than what you would normally see. As we work our way around to the rear, we're going to see the taillight design mimic the design of what we see, or match, maybe is a better word to use, what we saw on the front. LED as well, a very nice modern look, and then we'll have our exhaust finishers here to give that little high performance flair of sorts with the TLX. Under the hood is going to be the turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder. It makes a rather plentiful 272 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 280, and it's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And what about those all-important MPGs? I know everybody likes to know about that. Let's take a look at what the sticker tells us. 22 city, 31 highway, 25 combined, and 4 gallons of gas for every 100 miles driven. And if you're curious about the gas tank size, it does have capless fuel fill, and you will be filling a 15.9 gallon gas tank. And what about cargo capacity? We have 13.5 cubic feet of cargo capacity. If you want to lower the rear seats, all you have to do is pull on one or both of the releases right here. So you don't have to come into the interior to do that. I know that's where we often tend to look just because it makes sense, but in this case, it's not the case. And something else that maybe didn't make sense was to release that seatbelt like that. There we go, we'll push that all the way down, and you can see that the seats do lay relatively flat, maybe not completely, but flat enough to where it's not a problem. There's not so much angle that it actually takes away from the ability to use this extra space when you need it. And we'll take a little more in-depth look into the ebony interior. Let's see how comfortable these armrests are. They feel a little hard if you just push down on them like that, but when you put your arm up there, not too bad. Nice sized door bin, and we're gonna have the rear seat pockets for storage on the rear of the seats. Where else would the rear seat pockets be, right? Than on the rear of the seats. Yes, it's okay to laugh. And Rear air conditioning vents, I do like that. The one thing missing here is going to be the USB connectivity options, but there are ways to fix that with adapters coming from the front seat. All that good stuff is there and available. So let's take a look here at what we have with the fold-down armrest. Quite a bit of space here, drinks, snacks, and then space for putting your arm up there. Although if you have drinks in there, well, that's going to kind of take away from the ability to use as an armrest unless you just have your arm sitting straight up like that on the elbow. And you also have the sunroof, not panoramic, but it is the conventional size, but still gets the job done. Tell me what you think about that. In the future, would you like to see Acura add a panoramic sunroof option? And we'll take a look into the passenger door for the front seat. A little bit more space here with the armrest, a little bit more room, and it feels basically the same. It's still comfortable, larger door bin, and you're gonna have a 14-way adjustable driver and passenger seat. That's pretty good for this being the base. TLX logo down there on the floor mats. And we'll hop inside and take a look into the gloveless glove box. I know I'm guessing, right? But guess what? There's no gloves in there. I never find gloves in these glove boxes. But you can see what's here. And we'll take a closer look at everything here in just a minute when we hop into the driver's seat. But I did want to show you, yes, you do have the push button shifter right there. Tell me what you think about that. It seems to be well placed where it is. I know some people like the push button shifter, some people don't. Here's your mode selector right here. And then we'll look back here and see that we have the cup holders and the armrest that doubles as the lid for the console, or maybe the other way around. But sitting here at 5'10", the console seems to be at the right height to where it's not really a problem. Now, let's look at our connectivity options. A couple here. Now, what you could do is maybe run a 12-volt power or 12-volt adapter back there. Plug it in right here. That is an adapter for USB connectivity, and that would give your rear seat passengers the option to have that connectivity. Like I said, there are some options where that is concerned. You can see that you can turn the auto stop start feature off right here. I always recommend doing that. And then brake hold mode. If you're in heavy traffic especially, that comes in handy. You come to a complete stop and the brakes don't disengage until you touch the gas pedal again. So just a little bit of a convenience. And before we hop into the driver's seat, I did want to show you something. You noticed earlier that I walked up and I just opened the gas door right here to gain access to the gas tank. If you're concerned about somebody else being able to do that other than yourself, when you lock the interior, guess what? It also locks the gas door. That's a good thing. So let's take a look at what we have here as far as the driver's seat goes. Here on the driver's door panel, basically everything you would expect to see, but there's one thing that you might not expect to see, which is going to be right here. Seat memory, 2 different settings for the driver and only the driver, not the passenger. Almost messed up and got tongue twisted there. It would be nice to see that feature for the passenger's seat as well, but you don't usually get that on a lower trim level or at all with most vehicles. Drop the lever right there. You can use the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel to get that positioned to your liking. Hopefully you are able to hear that and see what happens when you get into the TLX. This is going to be on all trim levels, so in case you were wondering, well, now you know. Now, one thing that even being the base, lowest trim level here for the TLX, you still have this lever right here. What exactly is it? Well, it allows you to turn the headlights and taillights on and off and all that good stuff. It also works as what you control the blinkers or turn signals with. It lets people around you know what you're doing. I know some of you don't have that option on your vehicle. I guess it was just too expensive to spec that in, but anyway. Yes, it's okay to laugh. I can be sarcastic about that. Can't say anything sarcastic about this lever because that's for controlling the windshield wipers and all of that functionality. You'll also have your steering wheel mounted controls here with the brushed aluminum surround to just accent things, as you can see. Now, one thing that I know some people aren't so crazy about, once you get used to it, I don't think it's as big of a deal. That's the screen. It's not a touch screen. Now, why is it not a touch screen? Now, I'm just sitting here in the driver's seat in a conventional position, and at 5'10", look, I can't even reach that. I have to lean way forward. Really kind of a distraction when driving if you ever had to do anything. So that's why right down here you have the trackpad, and that allows you to work your way around to everything on the screen depending on what you want to see or do. And when you get there, you just push down on the trackpad and that will take care of everything. And then we'll go into reverse and take a look at our multi-view rear view camera here. You can see that we do have 3 different views. So that is a nice convenience to have. And what about our driving modes? Let's take a look at our different driving modes. So we can see that we have sport right here. Let's go back up. We'll go to normal. We also have comfort. And then we can push the button right here that takes us into individual mode. You can tune everything to your liking. So we'll also have dual zone climate control. You can sync those together, both sides, with the button right there if you want to, or they can be adjusted individually by the driver and the passenger. And basically, as far as the interior goes, that's what you have. And I think I said it earlier in the video, but in case I didn't, you will need a USB cable to use the USB outlets right here as far as your connectivity goes, but that will allow you to use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which I do suggest doing in case you are curious about that. And while we saw what happens when you get into the TLX, well, what happens when you get out? Let's take a look and see. There you go. Okay, we're out on the road for the test drive, and if you're wondering, is 272 horsepower and 280 pounds-feet of torque enough? It definitely is. So acceleration, not a problem here, that's for sure. And while this particular model of the TLX isn't necessarily meant for high performance or anything like that, it still has great handling characteristics. With the 10-speed automatic transmission, it definitely has no trouble getting down the road. And the horsepower and torque works pretty well for the car itself. Overall, it has a good ride quality. It's fairly smooth. And the handling is very impressive, pretty tight on the steering. I like that, the fact that it may not be like a Corvette or something along those lines, but it still is good and tight and feels very, very good in your hands. Let's take our time here getting through here because we don't want somebody coming into our lane. Thankfully, they're paying attention. I appreciate that. Don't want a viral video because somebody hit me head on, right? But overall, a very enjoyable vehicle. The seats are comfortable, and even though I know a lot of people, as I mentioned earlier in the video, don't really prefer to have a non-touch screen. You have to use the trackpad to navigate everything. And then again, there might be some of you that say, hey, that works just fine for me. But one way or another, it's still very easy to use. Not difficult technology in any way, shape, or form as far as that goes. I like the fact that you have quite a bit here for the price. I mentioned that earlier in the video because, well, as you've seen, it's absolutely true. Acura definitely giving you quite a bit on this lower trim level. While you may not have everything that's available, obviously you could step up and spend some more money, but it just depends on what your situation is, what you want to do, and all those good things. But overall, I think you get quite a bit for the price here. Now it's your turn to talk or to type or to use Siri or whatever it is you do. Leave a comment and tell me what you think about the 2023 Acura TLX base. Is it the best bang for the buck when it comes to the TLX? I'm always curious to know what you think. I have to say a special thanks to my friends here at Acura for loaning me this TLX for the day. And by the way, if you come into Acura and buy any new Acura, and you've watched one of my videos, make sure to tell whoever you talk to from the sales staff that you did so, because you will then receive the Vehicle Visionary discount of $500 off of the vehicle you purchase. And I have to say a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, number one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. And check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.